Thank you very much, guys, and great KDA, Rich. Straight into the game.
You're playing a dangerous game, Lee. It's a dangerous game.
Hey, you started it. You started it, and then you picked on him, and then he picked on me. What was that about? What was that about?
It's not good. He's lashing out, all right? He's embarrassed.
He's lashing out. No, I got to be honest, mine will probably be the similar, if not worse. But so Reciprocity heading down south. It's going to be once again. So now, will it be Impala? Because remember, Razor Edge went into Impala. It does look like that's where they wanted to go.
Honestly,
they were kind of forced south and went to Porto Paraíso.
Can Vitality just go there just for the fun of it? just for the crack. Why not? Yeah, I'm seeing if there's any changes. I know Razor Edge just did it because of Plane Path. It's their kind of backup drop where they went to before. Na'Vi back to kind of what we'd expect, to a lesser extent, in comparison to when they went up north. Again, I'm liking seeing some, I guess, variety when it comes to drops, showing that they do have that versatility to go to other options and not just have to suffer the consequences. Beyond that, though, I think we're just kind of back to the same sort of position of when do we see Reciprocity swing up here, Vitality, now they've got a chance for it, and a northeast circle. Finally.
Right. So, Team Liquid were talking about this one and basically saying about these northeast circles, although they are kind of in it. In Picado, this is tough ground for them. Because if you think about, obviously, I mean, you can see on the map how congested it is. You have the Knights, obviously, in Power Grid. So if you're going to swing around, you'd have to swing Montinuevo way. Well, that's FaZe. Okay, so you don't go left. So you can't go north because you got the Knights, you got NIP, you got TSM, you got Unity. You can't go sort of, northeast because you got Vitality, Unity, also this weird spread. You got ENCE somewhere in there as well. Then you pump it into sort of G2 way. So their only approach at the moment is to just take a direct eastern road. So we'll just see whether they do a similar again, because when they did it before, they were obviously bumping into CrowCrowd and then Na'Vi, who were in and around Impala. Obviously Reciprocity there, which is interesting because Na'Vi have completely, I don't know, they've totally changed. Obviously it wasn't like a Cabrera heavy, but why didn't they go Porto Paraíso?
Not sure. Again, this might be just how they seem to approach this. I don't know their playstyle well enough yet under this banner to be able to completely wonder about it. But also back to that Liquid point, as much as I appreciate they don't like the Northeast, Digital Athletics, FaZe, M19, Na'Vi, CrowCrowd, they're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
It's like there's as much of you can say, I don't like it, that's fine. But
at least
these
they can
teams succeed.
They can take a bigger swing, though, because they have the freedom to do it. Like, FaZe can swing anywhere the hell they like at the north.
But again, I don't see teams like, a lot of the teams that are around them, like your Unities and such and so on, they like center circle as well. So they're not going to be there late game.
Yeah.
So again, for me, I appreciate what Liquid are saying, but it's not just them in this boat. And if they keep suffering but other teams succeed, that's not a good look for them. That's showing a little bit of discomfort. Now, Rory's kind of lingered over towards Razor Edge territory, or should I say maybe Razor Edge has lingered over to their territory. It's kind of an awkward middle ground, no man's land. But maybe just looking to get that northern side. Keep in mind there is water in the southeast side of this, so I'm wondering where teams kind of position themselves.
They've got history for this. This happened in Phase 1. Razor Edge were sort of coming a little closer down south and bumping into TSM, and TSM really backhanded them and forced them back up north. And I wonder whether Chris and Rory are looking to do the same thing. Rory obviously looking towards him, but he is outnumbered if he were to go for it.
Yeah,
we'll see whether they go for it. I don't think they will. Winstrike, by the way, their adjustments, that's their default adjustment up into Campo Militar if they can't get to Pozo.
Yeah, this is good actually for them as well. This is lovely. All the teams in the northern side feeling very comfy. This is a good circle for Razor Edge, Winstrike, G2 especially, TSM, very nice positioning, Vitality. Kind of any of that kind of northern chunk of it, I guess Vitality is the cutoff point, is quite good. Because you will expect that circle to potentially move further up north, or I guess kind of northwest-ish if you want to play the kind of odds game, but it's still obviously that element of randomness, so you can't exactly point to where it's going to go. But teams are on the move. Unity already vying for central spots as theorized, and that does open up room for Liquid now to move. So again, if they're looking at who's around them and their stylistic approach, they should be able to read into this, and I'm curious as to how they approach this one, because the Knights are on the move as well.
I mean, if you looked at the points and you just saw them on board there, you do see that Unity and Reciprocity, they have half the points of 14th place, which is why there's been this urgency to like, okay, we're falling way out of this within a week. Obviously, we got 96 games to go, and we're a long way in. We're only on match 12, but still, when you're already 20 plus points behind and you've only got 19 on the board, you start getting a little worried. And that's, I think, what's happened is why we've seen these changes. Unity looking for that one big game. They haven't had one yet, and obviously they performed it in contenders. They came out top, one kill ahead of Reciprocity in the finals. It wasn't even 1 point, it was just 1 kill difference between the two teams. Obviously, we've talked about Reciprocity's problems. We know why they're low down there. Unity, though, I think it's just a case of a bedding period, trying to get used to the league. And I think we're maybe seeing why some of these teams, how they've benefited from just that Phase 1 and kickoff experience, that they really are stepping up. And you do see it a lot in pro leagues, whatever the game. Once a team's sort of into that pro league, you'll see their experience and their skills step up quite considerably above sort of the online play.
No, absolutely. There's no better place to practice than the official games itself. So for them, they really get to put themselves through their paces. We see Liquid taking a more eastern approach. So they've opted to move further to the east, which is actually quite rife with players. CrowCrowd doing a similar rotation route. They've avoided where the Knights are, and the Knights are kind of taking the route that Unity took. M19 still pretty far off there on the southern road. M19 not opposed to going for these very long rotations, really taking their time on it. They'll get there when they get there. They're not against playing edge games. Digital Athletics and potentially Na'Vi could find each other here. Not sure if they'll pull up on it or what's going to happen. TSM and G2 this time are about to potentially get some shots towards each other. You're going to see Wookie there banging a couple of shots off. That 24 is always nice looking in his hands.
Chris is shooting them in the back as well. Look, TSM are getting shot in the back by Razor Edge. We were talking about them on that hillside, and now they may well pay the price for allowing them to be there. Beautiful death. A couple of shots on him. Tracer fire from Na'Vi as they blast on by and try and find themselves a spot. That's north side of Los Leones, so still a long way to get center circle for them.
See, for me, I'm interested as well how Team Liquid do this, because they've gone on the eastern side, but this is with Reciprocity now taking not a similar area, but working off the back of it. So this could be new information to them. They may not know the Reciprocity like this. This could be something they have to work on. I don't know how close they've actually pulled up to them. Not that close. So it's not the end of the world. They're fine. They're on the eastern side. Far from ideal territory, because normally Liquid love that very central stop, but they've gone out, scouted, and it looks like they're back on route again. So this could be them potentially still clashing with Reciprocity.
They've got the freedom that they know there's no one really coming behind them from the sea. So as you mentioned, they're kind of edging into the similar compounds. Here's Na'Vi moving in. They're actually very close to FaZe Clan at the moment. FaZe Clan just pulling up the other side of that hill. Who will see each other first? Did Senya just catch a glimpse? He certainly can hear other vehicles. I don't know whether FaZe, who are just ahead of them, will spot them and pull up. And yeah, it looks like ENCE and Uber have already hopped out the vehicle. Mex is about to join the party. Bestalosh and Senya looking to see what they can get.
This is quite nice, actually. I like these two battles going on here. And big shots from Samty and Co. That Team Liquid winning out. Scoom has just been melted, knocked and swept so quickly aside, and that's going to keep weakening the Reciprocity hold of this eastern front. That means that Liquid can now get back in the vehicles, potentially move further forward.
Former teammate, love you, buddy, but see ya. You're down and you're out, and you are the first to die in this game. It's not been a pretty start for Reciprocity, that's for sure. I think they were certainly hoping for a bit more out of this, but we'll see how. Long time to go. We've still got another 7 weeks ahead of us. It's let's not write anyone off anywhere near yet, because we have a marathon ahead of us, not a sprint.
No.
So where's it going? Is it hard? No. Okay. Finally, everybody that went center, they went for those spots, and some of them hard fought for those spots, are going to be very happy. Vitality, obviously, they were in that big Minas Generalis spread. They're going to have to get themselves together because they're going to find teams joining them there.
Yeah, this is really good for all those northern teams. We said at the start, this circle generally bodes quite well for them. We'll see who holds good territory. We're waiting to see if Razor Edge can repeat what they did yesterday. This is a good circle for them. They've kind of, I guess, swatted away Winstrike for now. This will probably mean Winstrike pull up somewhere nearby, maybe pop a couple of shots back off. And in the meantime, consider where they go from here. They could maybe go for somewhere along these lines, but is this where they really want to be? They still have enough time to consider it. And we see Reciprocity in trouble again.
Rafi, you are going to get the spray down. Actually got Brexco down there, but the rest of G2 will come in and finish him off. And we're starting to see them being picked apart. And this is the second step, right? Once you're out of that, we're no longer fighting. Now we need to keep people alive to reach the later phases, and they're getting picked off in those rotations. And every time they try and move somewhere. So that was Rafi. He'd gone ahead of his team. He tried to rotate, found themselves a spot. The rest of his team weren't there in time. And G2 steal the warehouse away from them. Everybody else moving in. NIP, by the way, they benefited massively from this because they stayed in and around San Martin. They've come in. They've got now Razor Edge coming towards them from the north.
Yeah, Razor Edge really, not necessarily being greedy about it, but they want more than just that northern side. They're trying to find a better position, maybe going to meet up with Chris and Co. Not sure where they go from here. Na'Vi still outside of the new circle. They're in the south, and Digital Athletics are not far away. Uh-oh, they did get greedy, far too close to NIP territory. FastRail did find Gaxi, but it's a bit of a trade-out. That's not going to really benefit either of them. This is a dangerous battle. Chris did confirm.
Look at that range. He's down there. That was very Chris nice. All the way down there. Jeez. All right, 1 for 1.
Yep.
MBS had dropped the smoke. It's like, well, okay, I'm just going to loot you. So FaZe have got in. They've got a Minas Generales. Obviously, the Knights are already in here as well. So just in and around the south side of Graveyard, or north side of Graveyard, whichever you prefer. Meanwhile, Vitality's still got a pretty decent spread across the hillside. TSM also, you know, they'd come in. We saw them obviously with Razor Edge on their backs. Team Liquid are creeping on the hillside towards Michael from TSM, looking towards that central point. Everybody else just coming in from the south now, and that will be everyone inside the zone.
Now look at that northwest side. It's so open for these rotations. I think Na'Vi, if they do get too much trouble from Digital Athletics, FaZe, any of these teams, they can opt to just keep going further north, because simply the fire will subside. So beyond that, though, we do see Team Liquid moving up. On foot this time, getting very close to TSM, who have a pretty strong ridgeline to work with.
Just had a couple of shots.
Very isolated, though. That's one issue I would say here. He's very much on his own. There's been a spot made as well. James now has to be on alert, has to be on notice. He can't just run away with this one. But Michael's not that close by. Rory can support on the ridgeline, but beyond that, you're looking for the rest of the players to come out from TSM and maybe support this, because you can't take it lightly anymore. Yeah,
Gustav just trading blows them, as you say. It is a pretty heavy push coming out. For a moment, they're going to rip the head off. That's Gustav down. Rory's coming up, but he's too late in the support. James has already finished him off.
Yeah, nice work from James. He's playing the ridgeline really well. He's going to have to be forced into the fight. Hits the deck. He needs other angles to be provided from his teammates to allow him to do this. And that's what he was waiting on. He replayed that really well. And this is what you expect from a team and a player like that. So again, this is where I wanted TSM to have more numbers to potentially trade.
Look at Na'Vi. Senya's going to get himself into that warehouse, I believe, before NIP respond, and that is going to be a great move. If he's just having a quick scout of it right now, Na'Vi could get themselves a really nice spot from this move because they were on that western side. They're the western team. FaZe are going to try and have to scurry away from this one. They're looking towards Pittsburgh Knights up on the hillside. I think they're going to stick in and around this graveyard area and maybe try and take some of the hills as ENCE takes a battering.
Yeah, ENCE in a very uncomfortable spot here. Out of nade distance, at least from the Knights, but it's not pleasant. So everyone on that southeastern side is going to get very, very close to each other. I'm a bit worried about that one. That's going to be very uncomfortable for some teams. You highlighted it. Na'Vi have found a very good compound here, very comfortable for them. Unlikely anyone is going to be pushing directly into that and getting away with it.
TSM have backed away. Okay, so they've got that little compound near Team Liquid. They didn't like it. Vitality were taking shots at them, so they've gone for the ditch now, and that's just the other side of the hill from NIP. Meanwhile, you can see the Knights and FaZe continuing to trade back and forward. This hillside position here has been a finishing point a number of times, which is why they may be thinking, let's just stick around here in case it does decide to take another south swing. You know, they talked about on the desk, talking about the, you know, the Wild West that's been going on with the circles at the moment. Yep. It is causing problems for a lot of in-game leaders to try and, you know, guesstimate as best they can where this is going. The analysts at the moment are all scratching their heads and seeing these wild swings. ENCE, meanwhile, they're clashing with CrowCrowd, and I think Rustamar's been left on his own here.
Yeah, he has indeed. Not a comfy situation for him. He's just going to have to sit it out for now. I don't think he's got an escape plan anytime soon. But beyond that, everyone else looking for ways through the Knights, and FaZe still constantly clashing. Maybe Muxie is going to try and get them a new angle there, but outside that, Digital Athletics working then south. We've got M19. All the teams who are quite far out finding that option, but actually speaking of finding people, we've got Team Liquid finding Chris, and that's a clean pickup as well. No trade there, no answer back. So Team Liquid are taking some very big names.
Sneaky peeky hit and run there, wasn't it? It was in and out. That was very smooth. CrowCrowd, they thought they found themselves a home, but it wasn't. It was Occupado. Unity in there. They're going to take 2 down fairly simply. That leaves Kemba and Set. And Set's down as well, so Kemba and Tab left alone. Jeeves down low, looking towards the DMA fire. Prexcos took a big old head hit there as well. Team Liquid, they're not done with G2 yet.
Yeah, this is why Team Liquid are very good at these situations, just purely because Brexico had the perfect angle to deny Jeems the pressure towards Kane and Odir, but teammates are there, fire comes in. As soon as that sort of angle is no longer held, they fall off it. It's very hard to force into mistakes, but Samty was found on his own, untradeable at the moment, because there's pressure from other sides now coming in. It's not alone in this one. Reciprocity are nearby, and Gemty's already backed off here.
Well, that nade looks good.
Vitality all very close by. Kane somehow still alive.
Reciprocity could take some easy shots on them. Look at that. They have a clean angle on them there. Does Ibi see them down low? Shift certainly got down to start scoping it up. Meanwhile, we look towards ENCE and Vitality. They're trading blows just further to the east of them here. Oh my god, Digital Athletics are sending it. The circle has adjusted. It has took a hard swing straight towards Navi. DA trying to pile in. FaZe are making a push. Meanwhile, on the Knights, you can see that down low as ENCE look towards Vitality.
Yeah, FaZe actually winning out towards Drayden is big as well. It's very hard to clear these compounds out. You don't want to be walking into those needlessly, but taking down a player weakens the defense for sure. He's really pushing back into this. Is he feeling up for it? This is a very brave play, and it's working out. If he can maybe find one, it could answer the question. Jazz has got an Orm, though. That's quite scary. Even close range. You're still not wanting to mess with that. But he's buying time. Truthfully, being here will allow for that revive to come in, give him a second. If he peeks the ridge, he might get a couple of shots, but he's going to get the information, which is the main thing. Yeah,
Vitality realized in circle shift, we need to reposition, remove, otherwise we're going to get leapfrogged, and they have. DA took such a ballsy rotation, and they've actually managed to get in the circle with all 4 alive. I don't know how. I think it's just during all the chaos that's going on with the Knights and FaZe, they were fighting one another, Unity, M19 and all CrowCrowd all clashing with one another, so they managed to drive through relatively unscathed. Navi's move has looked to give them just the perfect compound for this circle. Winstrike also made a big swing around the north. Reels is going to deal the damage, so Zastish goes down, so Unity will lose their first player.
Yeah, but FaZe is still knocking at the door, which is very, very scary for when the Knights want to transition away from this compound. If FaZe could potentially leapfrog ahead, get maybe a player around on the more kind of northern-ish side of that compound. But in the meantime, you can see Kemba kind of doing somewhat of a similar thing. So it's a little uncomfortable for FaZe. They have to play this smart because the Knights are a very talented team. But look at Kemba lingering away. Jeems did find Kramer, so that battle's certainly about to kick off. Team Liquid got themselves slightly further north on the eastern side. Fuzzface forced off the angle, and now this should be go time for Kemba, but there is support there. FaZe are not alone, but it doesn't seem to matter. Kemba destroys one of them. Is he going to flush it?
He's going to flush it. The
that nade could be great as well. Fuzzface has to move away from that. He can't do much about it. Has to fall away, and the flush is there.
Gets Mexi down, the solo player, just little stab in the back. We've seen it so many times.
Oh, they're in trouble.
They played it right. They tried to go for the double push. Meanwhile, down the bottom there, you can see G2 and Unity making the push. Liquid getting involved. Vitality and ENCE. It's a big old cluster going on in the distance. Let's get that camera spinning on over towards it because there's 3 teams clashing right now. Razor Edge also taking shots from range. Meanwhile, the Knights take advantage of the damage that's just happened to FaZe Clan, and they're in all sorts of trouble. Unity will be the first team to fall. M19 are coming into the mix. They're going to get on this hillside.
Yeah, Dimash coming over is so nasty. That's just a horrible play. It's one man, and it looks like Fuzzface is going to be going down. He is eliminated in 14. The Knights reign supreme, but look at Dimash. He's there waiting. He heard all this go down. He's going to capitalize, but can he get the kills for this one?
What is he even doing here? The rest of his team are fighting G2 right now on the other side of Minas Generales, and you can see they're losing players. I don't even know. It's such a random move that he's just come over to try and get some third-party fun, and it may well cost a couple of players. Wanderer gets finished off by Udir. Wanted should get an angle on Dimash here. He's trying to go for it. And remember, Dimash was in the Joker's team that came out on the fight on this very spot. He was the one that backstabbed FaZe at the time, but he's just going to have to back away from this. The rest of his team have been decimated on the hill.
Yeah, they're pretty done for. Dimash going to do whatever he can while he's still standing, it feels like. As everyone else is getting their way into the circle, that eastern front has left many casualties. While that's all gone down, that's G2 eliminated. Very early dropout for them, but Winstrike looking very good. Na'Vi very good, and NIP very good. This is boding well for them. Raise Your Edge do go down, maybe playing a little too late to capitalize on the position they once had. As M19 does get finished up. That was Dimash, your last player standing, and Team Liquid are in a much better spot here.
Yeah, let's try and recap what the hell's just happened. So on the western side, there was a massive mishmash of teams. Reciprocity actually came out of it, was still 2 alive, although you can see Trifoli with the arm taking shots on Shiv. Don't know how that one just missed out. ENCE came out with still 4 alive. They really came out strong in that one. They've got themselves a couple of kills as well. You can see 3 kills there. Vitality went down. We saw Team Liquid just fall to the wayside a second ago. Vitality, who else was in there? There was a couple of teams. Razor Edge have gone down in the same spot. This has all happened in a similar spot at the moment. Somehow Reciprocity find themselves almost in the top 8 here by just coming in really, really late.
Why have you said that?
As I say that, Hack said he's found.
Oh, and Shiv still trying to run smoke to smoke sort of games here. It's really rough. TSM looking their way. ENCE could look their way. It doesn't really matter. Actually, Digital as well is going to keep ENCE busy, it feels like. Merc going to catch at least Rostamar out. That's a bit of a surprise. Pokemon forced into the action, going to find Reels, as it looks like there's been an issue with the Knights. Not sure what's gone on there, but it's not gone well for them. Nades now towards Shiv, as he knows his days are certainly numbered. The Orm is out to play, and Shiv goes flying.
This could be, I was about to say, potentially a big game for ENCE, but they're getting shot from every angle. It's not going to be a big game for ENCE. It's going to be a death to ENCE, I believe, there. That's going to leave Mikaz and Squeaky versus TSM. They're making a little push around there as DA finish off the 2 members on the hill now. Rory going looking for them, seeing if he can find some sort of damage as he looks towards Squeaky. Gets a good angle on them. The blue is pushing the backs.
Yeah, Rory has to keep moving, and ENCE nowhere. Look at the pressure they're applying whenever they have to, but it is going to be them who's going to suffer off the back of this. Rory's going to find one. Squeaky tries to turn around and get the fire back down towards him many times, but Rory spams away, and he gets good points in the bag as the CrowCrowd get eliminated.
Yeah, that's Na'Vi just sweeping. So what Na'Vi done, they've just, while this has all been happening, Na'Vi have just spread wide, looked all across the south. Bestalosh and co. just gone spreading wide. Now look at Bestalosh and Senya. They're going for the road push. They realize, okay, we've got 2 down here. We need to try and get some coverage. We need to see what's going on. They've got to worry about DA, though, making this push down the hill.
Yeah, this is just kind of ensuring late game because it's more than likely going to head over there. And once you run that road in the open, it's never going to be pretty. So it's smart from them to think ahead. It's going to be hard to crest and kind of cross over. You're probably going to hope that NIP end up fighting one part of Winstrike, because Winstrike have gone greedy and they've gone the circle. This could be a back-to-back game for them. This position is very good. There's a lot of big squads left, though.
Yeah, we've not seen anyone get back-to-back. Of course,
NIP
Na'Vi the only one with 2 wins. Here they go. Oh, the nades are even coming out. That caught Miracle with a headshot instantly as he tries to move around the side there. VOD and NBS using those UAZs, the strongest they can do. Well, not UAZs, the Chevys on this map, of course. Miracle does manage to get in there, but it's not a clean spot by any stretch. Now, don't run over anyone. Okay, they're safe. They got in there cleanly, and that gives them the ridge line. It's a big ridge line, that.
Yeah, they could, I mean, late game is going to be rough, but for them, that's great. Senyu's on the move as well. He's going to try and just send it himself. Iroh, 6 mode, they've gone down. Everyone is looking for this cross on the road. That's why Na'Vi's timing was essential for them. Digital Athletics was sadly just behind the curve. So by the time Na'Vi got the position, Winstrike already looking their way. That's too many teams looking in the right place at the right time. Merc goes down, a beautiful death, the last one standing, and he is still on that southern side.
This could play so well for NIP now that they hold that hill, because Na'Vi are looking down onto Winstrike, which gives NIP this view. You can see them off on the left-hand side. Yeah, there you go. Miracle has a sniff and finds Bestalosh's foot there. Actually, Miracle caught the foot, MBS caught the head. He's a big lad.
But they needed help there. It wasn't just going to be him trying to cross. You could see that Senya and Aduzi tried to get around, but by that point, they'd lost a lot of positioning. And actually, while all this happened, Na'Vi are focusing on the team in front of them, which is Winstrike, and there's an Orm on Winstrike too. So very, very tough. A revive probably going to come in here.
Uh-oh. Is it going to be another DA backstab? Uh-oh, there's the nade. There's the nade. Goes out straight for it, gets a lot of damage down, but didn't get the knock, so he went a little too early on it. There's a nade coming straight back at him. Tossing that back out. That nade, oh, perfect nade. Good night. Beautiful death taken down by a doozy.
And the thing is, I've seen Na'Vi in a similar position to this, with the lesser of the ideal covers and then coming out the victor, but NIP's position is so good. The next circle, the way this moves, is going to define basically is it NIP or is it Winstrike in this. And it doesn't really matter on this damage coming through. It will weaken the gear, but you shouldn't lose out on players. Na'Vi don't have much to work with, but here comes Jorski. Are they willing to commit for this?
I think it's a little risky. I think it's just nades. He wants to get in nade range. Yeah, he did a lot of damage to a doozy. That's going to force him to use another first aid, can try and burn those resources down. But now there's 3 on this spot. Senya joins them. Pokemon looking down low. They're just checking that there's nobody down there. Hello. Senya's
saving it for later if needed.
Okay.
Here comes their Atch.
It's good for them. It's bad for NIP though. They're going to have to make a move off that hillside. Yeah,
this is always going to be the case. Winstrike were probably always going to have at least 2 of the players in the circle, more than likely. Good compounds, nice to play out of. I need to see what positions NIP look for. I don't think there's much. They can get quite close running off the side of that hill, but we know that Tixu and Temi can see them at a decent amount. They still have vehicles, though, so they might just have to try and crash anything that's in the circle.
Well, are they going to use those vehicles? Are they just going to try and push on around? There is a crate nearly north as well.
I really want one of the Na'Vi members just to try and send it into any of the cover available in the more central area of the circle right now. They know roughly where Winstrike are. If one of them's feeling brave and just kind of like, I will risk it for the sake of the benefit of the team, that could be a really big play for them, but it looks like NIP are about to do the same. So that option seems to be off the cards.
NIP going for it. You can see Na'Vi trying to shoot them down, but are they going to get into a spot of cover first or not? Pokamoldo tries to join him. It's Bestalosh who's going to have the best angle. Can he get a glimpse on MBS, who's scoping up on him as well? We've seen this headshot come before from MBS as he lost out in the last duel with Fast Rail, I believe it was. Miraku does take a chunk
pushed up. Winstrike
damage.
keep pushing up. They're going to keep pestering Na'Vi. I'm worried that they burn through all of their nades until late game. Hopefully they keep a few in the backpack. And you can see the damage coming back, but Na'Vi are taking a lot of attention here. Winstrike and NIP are kind of safe from each other until they push further forward, and then they're going to start playing those games.
Again.
And they move in again.
Miraku and Vard push up and get themselves into a safer spot. Or
Nade
is
range.
it that nade? Look at it on Vard! Oh, it's so close. So close. MBS also caught in the smoke there, but safe for now. What a great three-way battle.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping the Na'Vi were going to send at least a player as kind of a, I guess, not a rotate point, but a nuisance player into where NIP took over. It's so far from ideal. I don't want to commit more than one, but if you put one in there, think of the amount of territory they could then bound off to potentially get past the endgame boss, which is probably Winstrike here. Maybe I'm writing NIP out of this one a little early, but their positioning, it's just, you know, they're holding on by threads.
Yeah, and well, if the circle pulls away from Na'Vi, they're in trouble.
Oh,
the
yeah.
last circle about to come through. That Orm's still going, but it hasn't done a great deal of damage. Neither of these teams, by the way, has a great amount of kills. Everyone's inside the circle. MBS is the only one that needs to just get a little closer. He's going to try and do that. Dodging, ducking, weaving. We're not seeing him at the moment. He's the only one that's taking shots. It's MBS that will get to the rock. He's not quite in a safe place. That was an 81 headshot straight on Pokamolodoi. Yeah, headshot gone and helmet down.
Yeah, that's actually a big loss. This could weaken them. This could encourage NIP to want to try and clean this out. And obviously, this is the thing with both teams here, or all the teams, they really want to clean out one of the others. That's such a big thing, or hope that that happens to the other team, so you're the third one standing. But for now, it's that stalemate. Both of them trying to get those kind of clean pickups, and that's why the Orms are massive in this. Senya's just gone down.
Yeah.
Tixu got that, but you can't push this. You can try and get a nade on it, sure, but you cannot push beyond it. This nade could be big. That could potentially clean this up.
Yep.
It has indeed. That's a player down for Na'Vi.
Nicely worked from Tixu. Gets the knock, gets the flush, gets the finish. Oh, and NIP are pushing on it. Vard and Miraku tossing out the nades towards it. Well, keep your eye on whether they actually managed to catch anyone. No, because Pokamolodoi has managed to get around the side, got the knock on towards them. NIP pushed. They've got two down now. Miraku going to get Vard back up. Pokamolodoi, he's down to 2 bullets.
They're losing it on safety, NIP. They'd be exposed.
31 in that as well.
Yeah, and Na'Vi have so little left. They probably had to loot Senya to try and get anything out. That might be where he's going now, potentially. But look at Winstrike, they pushed as well. Temi and Tixu pushing up on the eastern side, and catching him on the cross was Jorski. This is going to be Na'Vi's downfall. They have no information. They do not know the Winstrike are on the ridge, and they say hello. Tixu takes down one, swings on the other, but overextends. A doozy there to trade it back. Nade comes out, but this is deadly. This is going to encourage him to push.
Just cooked it. Yeah, Aduzi has gone for it. He doesn't have a great deal of bullets left, remember. As we just saw, Bestalosh, meanwhile, is dealing with NIP at the back there. He gets NIP down, but that's Bestalosh down. Aduzi doing some serious work here, finishing Tixu off. That headshot not coming in. Aduzi gets him. He can't finish it off, though. Nuki, I think, has the angle to try and pick him off, but he's got no way of getting that. So Aduzi, the left man standing. Miraku, NIP have got their third man back up there. MBS back on his feet. Aduzi's going in to get the flush here, but it might cost him. He's got that smoke. That's all he's using to push here. He's picked up the bullets, but he's going to go down. He does manage to get the point up. It will be a third place for him, so it's between Winstrike with 2 alive and NIP with 3.
NIP have capitalized while everything was going on, and Winstrike weren't clean enough in picking up those kills on Na'Vi. They did not expect that sort of fight back. NIP have moved up. NBS in such a good position. It is excellent, and the nade is better. Jorski, say goodbye as Nuki left in the 1v3.
I've never questioned NIP's nading. They were by far the best team in Phase 1 with nades. Nuki now in a solo position. We've been talking about NIP. They've had a rough start. They had a rough week 1 in phase 1, but they've come out on top here against